words of Josh Heupel, it's a good day to wear orange. Tonight we're wearing black. It's and go big orange. Tennessee wins tonight 28-18 over Kentucky. Welcome to the House of Orange post-game show. This is Frank Rock. Flying solo tonight. Tennessee, again, takes care of business 28-18 on a day where really tonight Tennessee got a lot of good news, not only in terms of their game, but in terms of other games as we get down the final stretch with 4 games to go after this one tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you know anybody who's not checked out the channel, share this thing out to them as well. And then, if you like the content, if you're on the fence about it, hit that sub button as well as subscribe to it. Tennessee takes care of little brother tonight, 28-18. It was a game that, I think there's a lot to talk about, obviously, tonight. But I'm going to go good, bad, and ugly with what I've got tonight. I got 13 of you in here. No comments yet. Leave me a comment in here as well. Leave me a comment what you thought. There we go. We got one in here. But leave me some comments, guys. Leave me some feedback, what you think tonight. Got 15 of you in here right now. We'll see where this thing goes. We'll see how long we go as well. You guys tuning in too. Of course, we're getting into the live show football game just a little bit. And then, of course, basketball starting up Monday night. Basketball is going to be, if you were with me last year, basketball is a big focal point of this channel. Lots of competition, lots of saturation in the football market. This is your place. This is the undisputed place on YouTube for Tennessee baseball, Tennessee basketball. But the good tonight, I'm going to be honest, man. I thought Nico played a good ball game tonight. Was it perfect? No. But I thought that if his receivers do their job for him tonight, Nico has over 400 yards passing tonight. I'm really disappointed with some of the stuff with the receivers. There's one, the touchdown that Kitzelman dropped, I don't have as much of a problem because once he caught it, he got hit pretty hard. But Chris Brazel has to catch that touchdown pass from Nico. And then Chaz Nimrod, man, that's a perfect really seamed that one. I don't know what else Nico could have done on that. I thought Nico played a good game tonight. I really do. I thought he was pretty poised. 292 yards passing. And like I said, 28 out of 38, 292, 1 touchdown, 74% completion percentage. His quarterback rating was 146.9. Again, if his receivers do their job, Nico's over 400 yards tonight. I thought he played a good game. I mean, the end of the first half, clock management, I don't know if that was more on him. I don't know if that was more Cooper Mays not getting it snapped. But overall, I mean, Josh Heupel said it in the postgame, and I totally agree with him. They're so close. They're so close on things. And, just talking about with Nico in there too, what about that throw in the fourth quarter? 21-18, they're driving, it's third down. He puts that in a place where only Dante Thornton could get that. That was a big time throw. Perfect throw, great play. They go down. They get that. And I'll tell you what I love. They interviewed Dylan Sampson. He talked about it being a brotherhood, about him getting the record. And he said it felt like every guy was behind him. Even Nico's right in the middle of that, pushing him across. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a fitting touchdown run for him to get the record tonight. I thought the quarterback play was what you need tonight. Let me hit some of these comments here. Again, let's see. Don't need that one. Chatsworth, what's up, man? Nerve-wracking, but the more it hurts, the better it feels when it quits. That's one way to put it. Laura Hubbard says, I hate that I have zero confidence that we can score even for 3. That kicking situation is going to be a big talking point here, just probably not in the not too distant future. Cayman Mickler, what's up, man? I thought Nico played good. I thought it was one of his better games tonight. I mean, we can look at Chattanooga and Kent State. He was lights out in those games. As far as the SEC play, I thought this was his best game tonight. I really do. And And I don't think it's coincidence that based on how he finished that Alabama game a couple of weeks ago, that confidence carried over to tonight. I mean, you know, I just thought it was a case of a lot of times Tennessee shot itself in the foot. They scored 28 tonight. They easily could have been in the 40s tonight as well. Tip of the hat to Kentucky. I thought Kentucky played a pretty good ball game tonight. I mean, their last touchdown they got, that play that to-do made, the one-handed catch, and then the 2-point conversion as well, man, those catches were big time. Those were both big-time catches on it. The good as well, of course, Dylan Sampson. But Dylan Sampson, he got himself, I really think he got himself put on the bench for a little bit with his fumble again tonight. That's 2 games in a row with the fumble. But, he's been pretty good for the most, really all year till the last 2 games about that. So, but it was good to see Peyton Lewis get some action. And, Deshaun Bishop did go out. I haven't seen anything on that injury as well. But I think that tells you, I said before the season, I was big on Cam Seldon. I think that shows you where Cam Seldon's at in the running back pecking order. And, I think we could speculate. You always know anybody can hit the portal at any time. With Peyton Lewis going in tonight, of course, Deshaun Bishop, the way he's ran, Dylan Sampson's not coming back next year. He will be off to the NFL draft, just like Jalen Wright did last year. It may be Peyton Lewis taking over next year, possibly. Who knows on that one? I totally agree with this one. A win is a win, especially on a night tonight where Tennessee got help from Louisville beating Clemson. South Carolina bombed Texas A&M tonight. I picked that one not on here, but just in general. I work around plenty of South Carolina and Clemson fans. I didn't see Clemson losing coming this weekend. I don't hate it. I told some South Carolina fans, I said, I think you'll get A&M tonight. They've been due. That South Carolina team's actually pretty good, and I'm surprised, but, I got to give them credit for what they've done with that team. That's a pretty good football team, and I don't think it's one that a lot of teams want to see. In my opinion, I thought they got a raw deal against LSU earlier this year, and they really could have beaten Alabama as well. The ground calls one in the end zone. Oh, you're talking about the one to Brazel. That's still a drop. That's still a drop, though. Danny said Nico's best game. Yeah, I think it was. Shouldn't be anywhere near this nervous watching this team, but here we are every week. No kidding, man. No kidding. They made it interesting. Matthews did have a catch tonight. He actually had 1 catch for a whopping 0 yards. And that was, I know we always want to blame coaches when things don't go right. Those 2 plays in a row, the Matthews 3rd down for no gain, the 2nd down pass, of course, Nico was in a little bit to Brazel, but I didn't like the 2nd, 3rd down calls on that one. And then, of course, Max Gilbert, man, had a bad night. I think you've got to look at this field goal competition coming up. Is Turbyfield, have they been working him, or is it Gilbert's to lose? Or, what about JT Carver? I know he's still on the team there. To me, whether you go back to practice tomorrow or Monday, I'm taking a look at that field goal competition right now. And I'm going to be honest, Mike Eckler's units have been pretty good since he's been here. This year, I think the special teams have sucked. I think the special teams have just flat out sucked. The return game sucks. The kicking game has sucked as well. Punting game's been okay. This has not been a banner special teams for year for Tennessee when they're normally pretty good at it. But, this could be it right here. I think Gilbert has the leg, but we've seen, he has 5 misses on the year now. The 34-yarder was the only one within 40 yards that he's missed this year, and he missed it bad. Something, I don't know. Yeah, it was an off night. He pulled 2 of them left, and he kept 1 of them right. So it's, Where do they go with that? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe they don't look at it at all next week. But it was definitely something that was, I don't know, it's something to look at moving forward. But, still talking about the good. Samson getting the record tonight at 19. That's pretty awesome that he's got it with 4 games to go. So, him staying healthy, especially with games against Mississippi State and against UTEP coming up, he's going to have a shot to really he's going to have a good shot to put up around 25 or more touchdowns this year. The good thing about Tennessee's remaining schedule, Mississippi State, Tennessee should take care of business there. Georgia's beatable. Will Tennessee have their hands full going down to Athens? Yes, absolutely. I have to see it to believe it. That is a winnable game, though. But we know how Tennessee plays on the road. Of course, UTEP should be a win. Vandy and Nashville is going to be tough, but Vandy put up 17 on Auburn today. I still think that's a very winnable game. I think Tennessee wins that game against Vandy. Will it be tough? Yes, but I still like Tennessee's chances on that one. To me, worst case is 10-2, and that's going to bring up some conversation. Now we got to help tonight with A&M losing. We got to help with Clemson. I think Clemson, unless Clemson does happen to win the ACC championship, I think they're out. That SEC is going to be real interesting to me. And what's going to happen in the event? So right now you're looking at A&M was the only undefeated team prior to tonight. Now everybody has at least one loss. Here's where I think it gets weird. And I don't think this should be the case. So if it comes down to, let's say the whole conference has 2 losses or all the top half of it. If it comes down to two loss teams go to the SEC championship game and one of them loses, they should not, in my opinion, be put out when teams not playing. Let me see how I can word this. Maybe you guys can see where I'm going with this. Basically, what I think is, let's say Tennessee and Georgia, for example, were to make the SEC championship with 2 losses each. Let's say Texas picks up another loss along the way. Let's say A&M, is it 2 losses? I know they only have, if A&M, just theoretically on all this, none of it's going to make sense. But Tennessee and Georgia, 2 losses. They for the SEC championship. All the rest of the teams they're tied with have 2 losses. A Tennessee or Georgia loses and gets their 3rd loss. That should not go against them and put those teams who did not play for the SEC championship above them. Again, I'm using that for example. It may not be Tennessee nor Georgia. Texas is probably going to have a good shot. A&M still only 1 loss along the way. To me, you can't hold a loss against a team if they make the championship game of your conference and put somebody who didn't make it in over them. I hope that made sense. My words were kind of twisted there a little bit. But Backwoods, what's up, man? We might have the worst first half offense in the SEC. At least we got a touchdown tonight. And I agree with Josh Heupel. This thing is so close. This thing is so close right now. Just, again, Brazel, Nimrod, Kitzelman with the drops. They all had their, to me, the worst one was Nimrod. That hits him right in the hands. I know it was threaded. I don't know if it got tipped or not. Nimrod had some good plays tonight, but that's kind of been his story. He'll have 1 or 2 good plays, and then he has a bad drop. That's been the case of his season so far. He did have a couple good catches tonight. I don't know, man. That just kind of stinks for him. Kitzelman, man, had a big night. 6 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Brew 5 for 56, Thornton 5 for 36. I still say that play to Thornton on that last touchdown drive from Nico, that was big time. That was a big time throw. That was a big time catch. That's 2 games in a row. That connection of Nico to Thornton has been big in the second half when Tennessee needed it. They're worse. They can't play like this in the playoff. No, they can't. They've still got to get there. I don't think. I'm not convinced the 2-loss Tennessee team is a shoe-in for it. Maybe, but there's going to be a lot of factors that go into this one. Hopefully it'll be. I don't know. I got a feeling this thing's going to be a mess when it comes down to it. Blunt Vegas, what's up, brother? Nico through games, dimes all day. We need wide receivers, do whatever it takes to catch a ball. Will Brooks with the 3rd pick. Got run down tonight, man. Almost had another one, but Will Brooks, I got to think Will Brooks is playing as one of the best safeties in the country right now. I really do. Again, the good, I thought Nico, obviously I thought Sampson minus the fumble. Sampson getting the record tonight was big time. Loved that. I loved that the offensive line, basically every one of those guys, it was almost man on man, team against team on that drive. And I love that the officials let that one go. They could have blown that one dead. I thought they let it go. Tennessee's guys wanted it more, pushed it in. The defense gave up their first quarter touchdown of the year, 360 yards tonight. I think that's respectable. 192 passing. Gave up 168 on the ground, which surprised me a little bit. But I thought Kentucky had some pretty good luck against them. About 4.5 yards per carry, which is against Tennessee's defense is pretty good. Of course, a lot of them come on the first play of the game. 50-yarder to start the game. So, you look at after that, Kentucky went for 118 after that. So, not too bad. But still, Kentucky had, I think, I could be wrong on this. I think that's the most Tennessee's given up this year. I'm trying to think if any of the other teams had more than that or not. Still thought, though, when it boiled down to it, I thought Tennessee's defense played good. They forced the turnovers tonight. They had 4th down stops again. This defense, man, they did their thing. And was it perfect? No, it was like any other part of the game. They're still have not given up 20 points in a game all year. That's big-time defense right there. Totally agree with this one. Against Georgia, I don't think Tennessee can afford to start slow and try to play catch-up. I don't either. I think if you get down against Georgia, you're going to have a tough time at it. That Kirby Smart in Georgia has had Heupel's number. And I know there's been some talent discrepancies there, but even in 2022, they drilled Tennessee. I don't care what that score is. That game was not even that close. We know the committee will hold it. Man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Aaron Young, what's up, man? For $5. Appreciate your generosity, Aaron. Thank you so much. This will play out to be a mess. Who's in? Who plays for the SEC championship? Glad you're here. Glad you're here too, Aaron. Thank you so much. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild at the end. I know they had it. It was funny to me at the end of tonight's game. They had, according to the AP poll, the 12-team playoff. Well, then you had Clemson, A&M, Iowa State. All 3 had lost today. So I think that's got to put them out. Who does that move into? It's going to be the question. Penn State's going to drop now. Ohio State's probably moving up to about 5th on that, in my opinion. I think with a 2-loss Alabama's probably going to have something to say along the way. That Alabama LSU is going to be pretty interesting. Or not pretty, it's going to be very. I think the loser's out at that point. I don't see any way a 3-loss team gets in on this. Oregon beat Michigan today. I thought that was Oregon's probably their last big test of the year. I thought going to Michigan could be tough. Oregon handled that one. The SEC is going to be interesting. The key with the SEC is it going to be, do they all just knock each other out? If that's the case, and basically the SEC champion gets in, but then do the rest of them knock each other out? It's still going to be really interesting to see where they go in that. I won't see the SEC standings because I don't know them off the top of my head. I'm telling you, man, there are Yeah, you guys have listened here. No, I'm not a South Carolina fan. I'm giving Shane Beamer credit. I think they have done a really good job this year with that program. And when I watched some of the first game against Old Dominion, I said this is the worst team in the conference right here. Man, they've got a good football team at South Carolina, and their quarterback, he's not the best passer. He's young, he's inexperienced. He can run though. That's his thing. Um, Man, I don't know if it was plays determined to make Kitzelman look like a hero, but he he definitely he played like one. I mean, he had a good game tonight. He had the one drop, and I mean, I'm like anytime you get your hands around, you got to hold on to it. But at the same time, he pretty hard lick. I think he would say he probably should have called it, but at the same time, that to me is probably the one of the three that was I would fault the least on it. Um, Brazel and Nimrod's they've got to have touchdowns. Three dropped. What's up, Devin Arnold? How you doing, man? Three dropped TDs, three missed field goals on that. Yeah, you think you do that against Georgia, you get blown out tonight. I don't have any doubt about that. But the kicking concerned me a lot tonight. And maybe it was just one of those nights, but I feel like Gilbert's had a couple bad games in a row now. And he's got the leg. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't know if it's mental with him or what, but they need to figure it out. And maybe they need to put a little pressure on him and have an open competition right now. Because if you get into a close game against a Georgia, a Vanderbilt, or someone, you get into a playoff or something, you need a guy you can rely on. Right now, I don't think you can, just based on the last couple games. Let's see. I hope I say Nate Jolie. How you doing, man? Nico looked gone tonight. Wide receivers are a little off, but yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally agree. I thought Nico was very good tonight. Like I said earlier, he hits his passes tonight, or not. If he hits them, if his receivers catch all his passes, he's over 400 yards tonight and 4 touchdowns. I thought he played a real good game, and he had some big time throws tonight as well. Georgia definitely, yeah, they're like Tennessee and they start slow, but you got to look at Georgia. What did it say today? 2 games in a row, quarterbacks thrown 3 interceptions and they've still won the football game. I mean, that's still a good football team that are still working on some things. I feel them and Tennessee have a lot of similarities in terms of good defense, quarterbacks struggling a little bit, guys maybe not making plays for them. And I'm not saying Tennessee's better than Georgia or on there. I still think, I've got to see it to believe it with Tennessee beating Georgia. I think there's a lot of similarities between the two. Definitely 2 of your top 10 programs. With Tennessee, man, if they could put it together and quit self-inflicting, they would get going tonight, especially early in the game, got going. Here's a sack. Here's a holding call. Here's a drop. I mean, God, they're just killers, man. They're just killers. Yeah, Matthews. Everybody keeps saying, or call Willie Galt. Take Willie Galt. Alvin Harper. Let's bring Alvin Harper in. Maybe Pickens is still, I think maybe we can get Pickens your eligibility left since he left a year early. But, man, the wide receiver rotations are kind of puzzling to me sometimes. We've not seen Caleb Webb. I thought he's been pretty decent before. Matthews got the one catch. Again, Nimrod will have the one good catch, and then he's got the big drop. It's just a killer right there. Hey, Boomauer in the house. What's up, Boomauer? Yeah, tied at the top. So right now, let me share the old screen here. We'll pull up the SEC standings and look at them here just a moment. There we go. We got Georgia 5-1, A&M now 5-1. Man, South Carolina, I keep talking about it. South Carolina blew them out tonight. Vols 4-1, Texas 3-1, LSU 3-1. There's Vandy, Ole Miss, Alabama, all at 3-2. There's South Carolina, Arkansas, freaking Arkansas, man. Had Arkansas fans coming in here telling me how good they was. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was crazy. I had a low IQ because I didn't think they were good. I heard all the ridiculousness from Arkansas. They were what I thought they were. They're not very good. Tennessee had no business losing that game, but like Tennessee always does every year, they go down and they have that game on the road where they fill their britches full and dump them on the bed. That's what they did against Arkansas, a team that's not very good. And Tennessee had so many opportunities to win that game and didn't. They had no business losing that football game. Absolutely none to Arkansas. That Arkansas team is not good. I don't care what they say or anything like that. I've seen enough of them. I've seen their games. That was a bad loss to me. Is Arkansas terrible? No. Is Arkansas good? No. I don't think they're very good. I'll stick with that one here as well. I mean, here's Missouri at 6-2. That's not going to last. Missouri's not very good. Florida 4-4. Florida's playing a lot better football right now. They played pretty good. Had unfortunate luck with Lagway getting hurt today. I'm curious with the way Florida's playing better. Is that going to be enough to save Napier's job? If he gets them bowl eligible, will that save his job or not? It's going to be really interesting to me. But you look at this range right here: Georgia, A&M, Tennessee, Texas, LSU. I think that's where it's going to come in at. Really, what I think we need is for Alabama to beat LSU when they play, because that puts LSU at 3 losses, number 1, Bama at 2. Now, as we know, and it would not be shocking, we could see a committee take, if Tennessee and Alabama are 10-2, we could see a committee come up and take a 10-2 Alabama over 10-2 Tennessee. Is it right? No, absolutely not. And I'm not saying they should. We've seen this before. We've seen it before. But I still think you want Alabama to beat LSU, and then you come down to that 10-2. It should be head-to-head. But we know common sense does not always prevail when it comes to the NCAA. Greg German, what's up, man? I hadn't seen you on here a while. Good to see you back. I will not tell you Nimrod's better than Matthews. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I totally agree. Again, I think Nimrod does some decent things, but a couple catches and then a drop. I've got to see Matthews. I want to see Matthews on it. I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree. He's had a couple big drops this season that were pretty huge. I don't get it, man. I don't get these wide receiver rotations sometimes. And, if Tennessee for some reason would have lost this football game tonight, obviously people would have been wanting jobs. But, there are some coaches this year. I'm not saying I want them gone, but not doing their job either. Blunt Vegas Fall for $5, man. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate your generosity. Appreciate you being on here. Nico's show was on point tonight. Let's celebrate and ask Heupel to open up an offense in the first half moving forward. I totally agree. And, even my wife, when I watched it tonight, she's like, do they not go as fast anymore on purpose or what? It's like, nope. Normally they don't, but they went fast. On that touchdown drive that sealed the game tonight, they went pretty fast. So I like that one. Can't wait for basketball post-game. Yeah, me either, man. I'm fired up. So any of you guys that are on here, basketball Monday night. I'll be live Monday night, and I'm pretty sure, let me double check on this, that the Lady Vols are Tuesday night. Let me double check that schedule. I'll be live right after that. We're going basketball, men's and women's. We're going live on that. So this will be your place to come on there. Talk some Lady Vols. Amanda Lady Vols, and you guys watched him the other night. I know it's Carson Newman, but that was pretty awesome. Yep, Sanford, Tuesday night, 6:30. That'll be on the SEC Network Plus. So we'll be live right after that. I know it's election night and all, but, politics can wait. As we know, with the last few elections, that thing's not going to end on Tuesday night anyway. So, but hope you guys will join Monday night and Tuesday night with that is basketball. We'll try to go live for as many post game as possible. Will there be some I have to miss? Absolutely. Not even sure I'll get to do the football next Saturday. I think, as of right now, I'm thinking we'll get to go in Friday night. Go back to Tennessee Friday night, but I'm going to go down and watch the Tennessee baseball game, the last one to Smoky Stadium. Excited to go down and see that along the way. Nimrod, wearing number 11, dropping the same touchdown. Oh, man, you are dead on. That was the same route. It was a perfect pass. He could have still been running on that one. That was a great throw. That was a thread the needle, fantastic throw. I thought it was great, but at the end of the day, you got to run with power, even take the whole team pushing. I really thought – I thought that was cool, man. I thought that was so cool how they got behind Sampson on that one and the whole team pushed him in. And two, I got a laugh out of Nico right in the middle of it. He's pushing too. Oh, Lord. Georgia game be our Super Bowl. I hope we don't start using that one again. That'd be a big one. That will be a big one, though. No doubt about it. That will be big. Man, this is a good point. I'll see what you guys think. Leave me a comment. See what you think. Do y'all think it's Halsley or Heupel? I know they're saying it's Halsley calling the plays, but I can't blame him a lot tonight. There's some that I question. I think anytime with an offense, no offensive coordinator is going to be 100% perfect. Your guys make plays. There was only one possession. That was when they went that I think they're too heavy with that little, it's not a screen. It's basically a little, what is it, a little hitch, maybe 2 or 3 yard hitch. Nico hit it inside a little bit to Brazel, and then Matthews for no gain. I don't like that play, but they run it. It worked some tonight. It got the job done. Sanders Rux, what's up, Sanders? Yeah, I didn't watch the whole game, but was definitely keeping up with it, watch bits and pieces of it. That was awesome. The amount of turnovers that they had, the steals, my goodness, that's insane. I don't know where Kim Caldwell and that staff get this team this year. There's talent, though. I like the pickups. I've talked about those on videos, especially when they got those portal transfers on here. This Lady Vols team, I think, is going to be a lot of fun this year. And they were showing at one point their schedule. They've got a tough schedule. But you know what? If you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. Iron sharpens iron. This is a really cool compliment. I appreciate that. Nothing better after basketball and baseball than this channel. That is, thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely excited for that. Had a week off. I had a 3-day school field trip to the wilderness, so I didn't have much choice on that. I had no service except at certain points, so didn't have much choice but to take a few days off. But especially if everything it was nice to take a little time off as well for a week. And but there's a lot coming up right now on this channel with basketball getting ready to hit it. I mean, baseball's with fall ball going on. I mean, baseball, it seems like they're rolling in recruits. If they're getting guys on campus, they've got a pretty good shot at them. I mean, Tennessee basketball just got a commitment last night. If you've not heard that or checked it out, I dropped a video on that last night. They're in on a few 5-stars as well. And I'm thinking they may have a shot to get at least one of them. We'll see on that. But, you know, everything's going to hit full gear right now. It's a lot of fun. This is what I've been gearing up for the whole time, because I didn't start the channel till January. That was the day of the bowl game. Then basketball was kind of mid-swing, starting SEC play around that time. So this is the first time kind of hitting football and getting into basketball and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait for that. So you guys make sure you tune in on that. This is your place for basketball and baseball. I'm not going – hopefully we'll get there with football. It's a very saturated market. It is very saturated, though. But, we'll see here. I think Alex man, I just don't think it's any coincidence that things have changed since Golish in there. I agree with you. I really have thought there's been a couple games in a row where they've called, whether it's Halsley, Hype, or a combination. I really thought they were pretty good games. It's, guys have got to execute, but I don't think it's a coincidence since Golish left that things have changed a little bit. But, also Hendon Hooker left. How much was Hendon Hooker a part of that? Smith Wesson, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Our kicker and receivers need to put in a lot extra work this week, for sure. The old jugs machine, they need to overheat it this week. And then I really think you got to look at opening that kicking game up. I don't know that they will, but is it Turbyfield? Could it be him? Is it JT Carver? I don't know where it goes along the way there. I agree with this. Georgia and Tennessee, both second half teams. Have your popcorn and your drink of choice ready at halftime, because that's when the game starts. It may not be a pretty first half, but that second game is when, or that second half is when it's going to rock and roll. Let's see. So hyped up. Definitely had to get the ibuprofen. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Feel like we play like this all year, we're going to surprise a lot of people. I think you're talking about Lady Vols. Yeah, I think they'll sneak up on some teams. I really do. It's going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate you, Rhonda. Thank you so much for the kind comment here. Always glad to have you guys along the way. Again, Monday night, right after the Gardner-Webb game, we'll be live. And then I know Kerry and me, hopefully Backwoods. I know I saw him in the chat earlier. Hopefully he'll get to join us as well. And then Tuesday night, I'll be rolling Lady Vols. If those guys want to join, they can. If not, that's all right as well. But I'm definitely rolling on as many men's and women's games as possible post-game. We'll break them down, talk about it, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I know Tennessee lost their exhibition game last week. I'm in the minority. I'm not freaked out by it. I think it's a game. I think if you ask Rick Barnes, he probably wanted to win that game. But at the same time, did he come out of that with seeing a lot of things they need to work on? Absolutely. And that's the time you want to see it as well. That game counts nothing in the loss column. It's an exhibition game. I think it was a good basketball team who's going to contend for the Big Ten championship. And you got to see where you have some flaws and where you need to work on things. I think it was an ideal scenario. Big Trey, what's up, man? You do amazing, Frank. Always like your takes and rants. Just do you the best you can. I'll take care of itself. Appreciate that, man. I hadn't had too many rants lately. I need the Outlaw to come out here at some point. I hadn't really had anything to bring out the Outlaw. Whenever I say, oh gosh, this is a good one. Horizontal pass with a gain of 2 yards on third and long. Want to throw it. The ghost of Randy Sanders. Goodness gracious. I'm with you, man. Drives me nuts. 3rd and 8, we throw a 2-yard pass on it. I get it. You're trying to get it out there. You want your receiver. You got confidence in your receiver to make a play. More times than not, that play does not work yet. That's the favorite play of the playbook. And I'll be honest, I hate that play. It will, at some point this season, go for a pick six. You wait and see. I said it last year that it would. It finally did against Missouri with Joe Milton. I don't think that's necessarily always on the quarterback. It's that you run it enough, there'll be a defense pick up on it. I hope I'm wrong. I totally would be fine with being wrong, but no, it is what it is. Yet to give up more than 19. That is insane. That is insane through 8 games now to not give up 20 points in a game. That is big time, big boy football. And these guys, man, they like to play defense. They like to hit you. And speaking of that number 19, I'll tell you what, man, James Pierce gets a lot of the attention. Old number 19, Joshua Josephs, can play some football as well. That dude is a player. I'm just telling you. And looking at, I wanted to look at the defense tonight. So just different guys. I mean, the last I'd seen Arion Carter was leading the tackling. He ended up with 10. Jalen Smith, man, I think this dude's one that doesn't get talked about a lot at linebacker, who keeps playing better and better football now that he's gotten his opportunities. He had 9 tackles. Ricky Gibson was 6. Joseph's had a sack. I know Pierce had to sack up the middle. Amari Thomas had a sack. Norman Lott would have had a sack. Norman, I'll tell you, if I'm Kentucky fans, I would have had a beef on the one where Vandegrift run out of bounds and Norman Lott put his hands up and kind of pushed at him. I'm really surprised that didn't get called. Was it really a big deal? Maybe not, but still yet. If that would have been the other side, we would have been complaining, wanting a personal foul on that one. I thought the officiating sucked tonight on both sides. I think both teams had plenty of beefs tonight, and it's still a shame to me that the best college football conference in America, the Southeastern Conference, continues to have this types of officiating. You pride yourself on being the best. Hire these guys full-time. Train them. Get them in here so you have the best officiating on it. To me, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, especially with all the money getting floated in college football, with what they're making with TV deals, with NIL now, with all this stuff. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That 0-1 season, what Tennessee lost to Georgia, beat Florida, and then choked against LSU. It's a pretty good comparison. Pretty good comparison. Saying the men's basketball. I'm afraid we'll see that again at some point this year. I'm afraid we'll see it again, especially as they kind of get into shape with it. But I still think that I like the potential of this basketball team. I really do. They were a little sloppy. They didn't shoot well last week. Sakai was a little turnover heavy last week, but I'm still confident. I'm still confident in that team going down the stretch. Boom, the House of Orange is 100 on all Vol Sports. That's right. We're rocking and rolling. Oh, man, I'm trying to think what was the distance. I'm thinking it was like, 4th and 6 or 7. So I didn't really have a problem with them kicking it. But, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Now, based on, I would bet you this, if it would have come up that a 4th time, I bet they would have went for it. I bet they would have went for it. Yeah, many on both sides. I'd like to hear this one. Play golf with the SEC making. I'd be curious to hear that conversation as well. 7-1, number 1 defense in the country. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to look here as well. I'm going to try to, I definitely want to stick to football as much as possible. We'll talk basketball next week, but looking back at it too, the quarterback hurry. So Tennessee had 7 quarterback hurries. Trying to see tackles for loss. Normally they're pretty good tonight. They had 3 tonight. That was down a little bit from usual. Let's see. Kentucky ended up with, what did they get? 2 sacks. We can deal with that to an extent. I wanted to look at let me see here. I still, man, I go back to it. The good. I don't think I've ever finished my thought tonight. The good Nico. Best game to me that he's played. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked confident. Was there times that did he make the right decision every time? No, I don't think any quarterback is, but I thought his arm looked live. I thought he was putting it on the money. I don't think we could ask for much more of him. And I don't see how late in the game that he did not get stripped of that football. I thought for sure he was getting stripped, and then he got loose on it. That was a heck of a job. My one beef I had with him tonight was before the half. But, I mean, there was 2 seconds left. I don't know if it was on him or Cooper Mays why the ball didn't get snapped. I mean, Heupel puzzled like it was the ref's fault. I didn't think it was. I think at that point, but at the same time, I mean, the announcers were saying if you're Cooper Mays, you just got to snap it. You don't, because if Nico's not ready and you snap it over his head and Kentucky picks it up and takes it the other way, that's a bad play. Maybe I don't know where the fault lies in that one, but I think there was a miscommunication. I don't know if there just wasn't enough urgency or what it was, but you got to get that snap off. Your quarterback's got to be – everybody's got to be ready when you know there's 2 seconds and there's no timeouts on that. There should have at least been a Hail Mary. I don't know what would have happened on that. I'll be honest. Nico could have ran out of bounds. He might have thrown the ball away. I don't know what would have happened on it. I was real curious to see what the decision would have been if he would have actually even made a throw for the end zone or not. I think that would have told me a lot of how he's grown from that Arkansas game if he would have did it. But no, Nico was good. Sampson, other than the fumble, really good. Congrats to him on getting the single season record. I thought Dante Thornton was and Brew. I liked them at receiver tonight because I thought they both had big catches. I thought the Thornton play again. Cannot state it enough on that touchdown drive, the one where Nico rolled out and hit Thornton as he's diving. That's big boy football. That is big boy football. The tight ends, Kitzelman, I thought he had a really good night. I thought Holden Stays played well. I mean, he had 1 or 2 catches called back for penalties. I thought for the most part the line did a pretty good job tonight. I mean, they weren't perfect. I'd probably give them about a C plus maybe. I thought they, for the most part, protected Nico pretty well. Had some penalties. I'd go C. I wouldn't go C plus with them. I would give, and I might change this when I do the next day tomorrow. I would give Nico. I'm going to give him a solid. Man, I hate not to give him an A. I really think he earned an A tonight because I thought he played good. His receivers make the plays. He's over 400 yards with 4 touchdowns. Running backs, with the fumble takes it. I'll give him a B. I thought Sampson played well. I mean, he went for pulling it back up 27 for 142. That's 5.3 per carry. We got to see Peyton Lewis come in. Kind of a little bit of a workhorse drive, 8 for 24 and the touchdowns. Glad to see him finish off there. I mean, that tells me tonight, people are always asking about Cam Seldon. I think we all seen it tonight where Cam Seldon's at. He's a guy, I just think that injury has put him behind. He's never caught back up. I hope he sticks it out. I really do. Who knows? Tight ends, I give a B. I take the catch away. Defense, where did I go with that? I thought the linebackers were pretty good tonight. It's harder for me to grade a defense than it is an offense because what we see. I mean, I think I'll grade the defense as a whole. I'm not going to grade each unit. I'll give them a B. 18 points is pretty good. They did give up over 160 yards on the ground. You know, there was a couple plays and I think B plus. I don't think A, just because Kentucky did have the rushing success. Kentucky did put 18 on them. I'd give them a solid B though, and I thought they played good. B minus at best. That's rough, man. I don't know about that. I agree. A may be a little too much, but I think if those receivers catch those 3 balls tonight and he ends up 4 touchdowns, that's why I'm going. I'm not, and I don't necessarily think that is the expectation moving forward. I think it was what it was tonight, but we'll go with it. B minus. Let's go with B minus. I'll go with it. I'll meet you there tonight. B minus. I'll meet you. I'll go B. I'll go part of the way. I'll go B tonight just because I thought he played good. Not perfect. by any means. A may have been a little high, possibly, but we'll go B. How about that? We'll go with the B on it tonight. Definitely room to grow. Definitely room to grow. The one that definitely didn't tonight. He definitely didn't kill us with turnovers tonight. I mean, that one, he had a couple games where it was, I mean, that Alabama play was horrible a couple weeks ago. His spirals and arm action tonight were on point. They were really on point. I was very impressed. Yes, totally agree. Thought he was definitely above average tonight. So I'll go B. I agree. A too high. I'll go B tonight. That's what we'll go with on Nico. Receivers on the night. I didn't even grade them. Where do we go with that? And I'm curious to see what you guys thought on receivers. If we're going to see his average, which I agree with, I'm giving the receivers a D tonight. I don't know, man. Maybe C is fair because really outside of Brazel and Nimrod, I'm trying to think, and the Kitzelman, which he's more tied in, obviously. We'll go C. I'm going to go C on the night for receivers just because I think they did. Brew made some plays. Thornton made some plays. I mean, Nimrod made some plays, but man, that drop was big. That was big. That was such a perfect throw. So I made receiver C minus. Okay. Oh, geez, Dart was an A plus today for sure. Yeah, I guess we're comparing those two. That's a pretty good point. That's a really good point, actually. Receiver C minus. I'll go with that. That's pretty fair, I think. That was, man, I think there's talent. I think there's a lot of talent at receiver that we're just not seeing it. And I'm like everybody. I think everybody wants to see more Mike Matthews, and I'm just not seeing enough to keep him off of the field. I'm in agreement with all you guys. I just can't see how we continue to keep him off the field. I don't get their wide receiver rotation sometimes. I didn't really have a problem with them a couple years ago, but last year, this year, there was times they were a little bit questionable, I think. This is a really good point. Tennessee should have taken care of Kentucky. Instead, Tennessee beat themselves in the first half again. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with you. Totally agree. It's a very good point because you look at it, that's 3 games in a row now where we're driving to start the game on the first possession. And then, I mean, hats off to the Tennessee defense. They bent, but they did not break. Kentucky got down, inside the 10? Tennessee stopped them. That was big. Tennessee, I mean, something happens inside that 30-yard line on the first possession. 3 weeks in a row, they get down there, and it looks like, okay, I mean, tonight I thought, all right, we're going in tonight. And then here we go. It had a sack, a penalty. Next thing you know, we're kicking a long field goal out of. Totally agree with you on that one. But, yeah, a win is absolutely a win. It's a yes. Brew is the closest I think we have to Jennings, but he's not Jennings either. Juwan Jennings was on a totally different level in terms of dogs. I really think so. That man, I'm telling you, and I talked about this earlier. I'm not sure, Greg, if you were on here yet. The special teams have been a letdown to me this year. The kicking game has not been good. The return game has not been good. I don't want to see Squirrel White. I don't want to see McCoy back either. We heard about how dynamic Boo Carter is. Maybe they don't trust freshmen, but they put him back against, who was it, Florida? Or was it Alabama? I can't remember. But no, I am totally with you. Love McCoy at corner. I don't think it's a good idea either. Number one, I don't think he's that. Maybe we've just not seen how dynamic he is as a returner. He's too valuable to me as a corner to put him at return. I don't know. I would like to see Boo Carter. I'd like to see Mike Matthews. I don't really like having Squirrel nor McCoy back there. Number one, they've not impressed me. Number two, I still think Squirrel is going to be big before the year's out. I know he's been hurt and stuff like that, but totally agree on McCoy, and I totally agree on this. Boo or Matthews, one of the two. I mean, you're not playing Matthews. I'd be curious to see how many snaps he got tonight, actually, before we go any further. But that's kind of interesting. There's a couple comments I'm not going to put up, but guys, you probably know my feelings about all that right here at this point. There is definitely no love lost. That's all I'll address between me and the parties you referred to. None at all at this point. That's as far as I go. That's the only time I'm given to that other place. But I would like to see Boo or Matthews for sure. I'm in total agreement with you guys. We definitely don't need to see Matthews hit the portal. No way. I agree. And I mean, because you got to think, we lose Brew, we lose Thornton, and I'm trying to think, is there somebody I'm forgetting here? I mean, that's not including portal guys. Let me pull the roster up here. So I want to look at the class. So basically, what we're looking at as far as who we lose, there's Thornton. Let me just pull it up to share here. And I don't know if the COVID year stuff, you guys may know this a little better than I do. I'm not sure if this COVID stuff is still a thing or not, the COVID year stuff. I don't know if we've surpassed that at this point, if there are still guys who still have COVID years. I hope not. I'm over it. But Thornton is a senior. I'm kind of looking. I mean, this is some important guys we're losing. Amari Thomas, Norman Lott, Cooper Mays. I mean, Karich has played better. Sprague has a little bit of rough time. I mean, Miles Kitzelman, what an underrated pickup he's been here as well. I know there's more. William Wright. See, Brew, Elijah Simmons. There's Keenan Pilley, Gaston, Bryson Eason, Will Brooks. I mean, Will Brooks, man. What a find. What a find. You don't see those guys come around often. Dane Davis, John Campbell, Jackson Lampley. There's Dominic Bailey, who I think's played really good this year. I think he's had a good year. Let's see. I guess we're sorted by alphabetical on UT Sports. So that's it. They don't lose a ton of guys, but, man, they lose some good players here as well. But, you know, UT's receivers, you're losing Thornton and Brew, who to me are arguably your best two guys. And I don't know, man. I don't think you want to lose talents like Mike Matthews. And I'm really curious to see Travis Smith Jr. next year. I think Travis Smith Jr., based on what he's been doing in high school games, he gets Knoxville. I think this dude has got a lot of potential next year. But at the same time, you know, we're talking about Mike Matthews. How many times, I mean, it's good to see Boo getting playing time. How many times, though, under Heupel have we've heard about these freshmen coming in and we don't see them much? You know, are they afraid to play the guys or what? You know, I don't know. I'm not there every day to say it. Will Brooks, and you know, a lot of you. Matt SS, what's up, man? Says go game, baby, and Vols go. Carnell Tate. I have not. Okay, I have not heard much about him. I'd love for him to rethink, because Tennessee was in on that one. Will Brooks jersey. I'd say those will be very popular for sure. I wonder if they've got any of the Will Brooks like jersey T-shirts or not. I'd say those would be pretty popular. I would, you know, such a cool story with him. Brooks. Yeah, Tennessee had a good day with had a good couple days recruiting this week. Got Brandon Ains, Wisconsin commit, who flipped, linebacker commit. And from what I've read, Tennessee still wants another linebacker. Will it be Jaden Perlow or Perlotti, not Perlow, Perlotti? Could it be somebody else that they've been in on before? I mean, I still think you're with Christian Gass possibly visiting Georgia. You cannot close the book on that one. We'll see. I mean, there's some guys that Tennessee have in the commitment fold. They're going to have to work to keep. I don't think there's any doubt, because it wouldn't surprise me to see 2 or 3 of them be on the Georgia visiting side when Tennessee plays them. Whether they're just going for a free trip, who knows? But I think anytime when you got guys visiting another school, they're not fully in the boat. And, oh, yeah, Cornell Tate has a ton of talent, man. I'd love to see him in Knoxville. But, who knows on that one. Seems like that was kind of maybe one of his dream schools to play up there. But Tennessee was in it. Unfortunately, they weren't able to close it, but it would be awesome. If he hit the portal, maybe they could get him down there. But Tennessee's got talent coming in, man. I mean, they're pretty happy from what I've seen with their receivers coming in. You got to think there's possibility. I mean, based on everybody coming back next year, I mean, you got Brazel coming back. You hope these guys take another step. Could they hit the portal? Possibly. I think they hit the portal for offensive linemen. I don't think there's any debate about that. I mean, you're basically losing – you're losing 4/5 of your starting offensive line, plus you're losing 2 of your main backups. David Sanders Jr., when he puts his bags in his room, he's a starter at Tennessee. Then it's going to be up to the development of the rest of that offensive line. We're really going to find out a lot next year about our offensive line coach. I don't think there's any doubt about that one. Yeah, a win's a win, 28-18 any day of the week. I don't bet, so I don't really care about the spreads. I mean, I'll go back to this point earlier here. Let me find it here. This was a good point. Oh, Darius Jones come in and said Tennessee beat themselves in the first half again. Tennessee does their thing tonight to win that one going away. So, to me, you keep taking care of business, you're going to be all right. The main thing about today, Tennessee won, Clemson lost, Texas A&M lost. I think that helps Tennessee in the long run. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy when we get to the end of the season on it. To me, I said it earlier. Here's what I hope doesn't happen. And this is to any of the teams. Let's say you get, like, right now at the SEC standings, you've got Georgia and A&M with one loss, Tennessee, LSU, Texas. So 2 of those teams, I think there's a pretty good possibility, are playing for the SEC championship. Let's say if all of the teams go in with 2 losses, whoever loses in the SEC championship game, if they have 2 losses going in, should not fall behind the teams who do not play for it, in my opinion. That game should not count against them. It should not. There's no way, to me, that, let's say Tennessee goes 10-2 and they play Georgia for the SEC championship rematch of it. Let's say Georgia has 2 losses. They slip up somewhere along the way. I don't know who they would even play that would. Well, they play Ole Miss this coming week. So let's say Georgia loses this week against Ole Miss. Let's say Georgia bounces back the next week to beat Tennessee. Let's say all these teams have 2 losses on it. Georgia, Tennessee plays the SEC championship on it. Let's say Georgia beats Tennessee. A 3-loss Tennessee should not fall behind the other 2-loss teams who did not play in the SEC championship, or even Georgia for that matter. Let's say Tennessee were to beat Georgia. That SEC championship game should not have a negative effect on anybody if it comes down to those races. It's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you qualify for the championship game, you should be in above the teams that you qualified over. That's just my opinion, but it's the NCAA. Nothing's ever logical. Nothing's ever right with them. So, we'll see on that. The funniest thing, man, is the bye week was normally really good for Heupel and company. This year, not so much the first half. Program is in good shape right now. The biggest thing to me with this program, I agree. From a program perspective, it's in good shape. The biggest thing it has me kind of maybe a little restless is offensive line development. Glenn Ellerbe will be what he'll have his opportunity next year to show line development because I think it's kind of been stagnant. Does quarterback play affect that? Sure. I mean, we've seen it in the past how under Butch Jones, how that offensive line was horrible. All of a sudden, Josh Heupel's sophomore season, he takes over. That line doesn't look so bad after all. Line didn't look too bad under Hendon Hooker a couple years back. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ellerbe gets too much credit. Maybe he gets too much blame. But next year, we're really going to see because that's where you're going to see it's his guys. It is his guys. Cooper Mays, Spraggins, they're Jeremy Pruitt guys here. I mean, Campbell coming through the portal, Lance Hurd come through the portal. They're having to develop him. I mean, Karich come through the portal. So I think you got to give Ellerbe some credit for the line because obviously he's been coaching these guys. But at the same time, I still think I want to see the development from these guys he has recruited, which we've not seen. That is my big concern is the guys he has actually recruited have not developed in this program. It's guys who he's inherited from someone else. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Just my opinion on it. But that's what I need to see out of Glenn Ellerbe for me to not have questions on him. I think his recruiting's been much better. Now I've got to see his guys he has recruited be developed by him. Sam Pittman would be awesome if Arkansas did get rid of him. That would be absolutely great. I mean, what you're looking at here, and this is a good point, Ellerbe, Halsley, I know people call for them. I wouldn't waste my breath. They're both going to be here. I don't necessarily think they're bad coaches, but I think I don't know. I think if Halsley's calling, I think he's called a couple pretty good games in a row. I really do. What do we have? Pittman 1 year here? And I thought he was great. That was during Dooley. That offense was not the reason Dooley lost his job. It was his hire of a defensive coordinator. It would be cool to win an SEC championship. I totally agree with that one. I think it would be cool on that because we've not won one since, 98? Played for one in 01, 04, and 07. Could have won 07. Still feel like we should have won that game. 04 was Auburn. I mean, Auburn was better, but I still thought that was a good game. 01, geez. One of the biggest nightmares ever in this program. Ever. Trey Smith for offensive line coach. There we go. Maybe he can pull double duty. He can coach Tennessee through the week and he can go play for the Chiefs on Sunday. All right, guys, hour and 10. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Been around 50, 55. That's pretty good on here. Again, I totally good with all. You know what's cool, man? You know, talking about Leonard Little, some of these guys. I think about every home game. A lot of those guys are up there like Leonard Little, Al Wilson, Jamal Lewis. I think all those guys are pretty much regulars up there. That's pretty cool because that was some bad dudes. I mean, to me, Cobb, Jamal Lewis. I have a hard time putting anybody over those two. I thought Jamal Lewis was a bad dude. I mean, his injury set him back, but there's been some Cobb and Lewis to me. I mean, Henry was good. Stevens was good. Tennessee's had a lot of really good running backs. You know, maybe, who knows, maybe Dylan Sampson's up there when it's all said and done. Dylan Sampson's getting ready to have possibly the greatest single season of any Tennessee running back in school history. Possibly. We'll see where he ends up on that as well. Cobb Webb ruled. That was definitely the best duo. And we've had some good ones. We've had some really good ones. But Cobb Webb was unbelievable back in the day. But just to update you once again on it. And if you guys hadn't checked them out either, it's the membership tiers on here. Not a lot that I go on with that right now. There's, I appreciate the people who's joined. Thank you guys so much. There's a lot I want to do with that. It's getting it built up when it is. There's $1 a month Patreon if you want to put that. All this stuff, it does go to support the channel along the way. Is, a lot of this stuff it does. I'm not one to get out and beg for money. I'm not a money beggar like some people. But, it does go to help the channel. It is appreciated. You guys that chimed in super chats tonight, thank you so much for your generosity. That's appreciated. But, regardless, either way, it's free content. It is where it is. It is greatly appreciated. But I'll do the next day in the morning or this morning. Clocks go back tonight as well. So if you've not set your clock back tonight, you might want to get on that one right now. Clocks are sent back. We do get an hour tonight. Next day tomorrow, I'll probably do some basketball content tomorrow as well. Monday night, for sure, it's not our regular Monday night live show. It's going to be our Monday night. So it's the basketball opener, Tennessee versus Gardner-Webb. I'll be on with you. I know me and Carrie, possibly Backwoods, will be on Monday night. Tuesday night, Lady Vols home opener against Sanford. I'll be there with you post game on that one. Excited about that as well. And then let's see, the rest of the week, of course, Tennessee plays Mississippi State. It'll be next Saturday night. I don't think the official time is known yet, but it's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not similar to tonight. Tennessee plays Louisville Saturday, basketball at noon. If I'm probably not going to be here to do that. We'll see on that. That'll probably just be a video at some point. So it wouldn't, oh, geez, that's on the freaking ACC network. So I can't even get that one anyway. Probably not going to be with you on that one just because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be out of town on that. Lady Vols, Tuesday night, they play Sanford. And then they actually play Thursday night against UT Martin as well. So I'll be with you Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night this week, post-game shows. Be with you on all those. Saturday, probably not, but I'll probably record something Friday nights. I'll be at the plan on going to the Tennessee baseball, the Orange White World Series down to Smoky Stadium. Plan on being there for that. I won't do like a live post-game, but I'll definitely record something from the stadium, see what I can get on that. But this thing's rocking and roll, man. It's picking up. I've seen some names in here tonight I hadn't seen in a while. Appreciate you guys coming back. Good to see you guys back tonight. It was definitely a lively, a good chat tonight. I'll take that. It's pretty cool. But, I'm rambling. It's time for me to go to bed. Probably all of us along the way as well. But you guys have a great rest of your evening. Like Josh Heupel says, it's a good night to wear orange. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.